Hi, and welcome to Qigong Live Online. This is the Beginners program. So we've just finished a 200-hour teacher's training. So we always bring things back from that, things that really prop up that are really useful to people and are really useful to understand about Qigong. I want to introduce an exercise that we've talked about before. We've actually done it before, but I want to go into a bit more detail. And even though it's a beginner's level, there's a beginner's understanding this is really important. And it's about the rotation. It's about how we rotate our body. And we've talked about this before, but I want to go back over it again. And it's come up, and I think it's such an integral part of Qigong. Because Qigong is all about how you move your body. Yep. How you move from one side to the other. And we move from side to side as we change weight, which is obvious we do that. Yep. Before we do that, we'll bow though. We'll bow into the plus. Roll back onto your thumbs. Bring your left hand underneath, right hand on top. And go. Make a fist with your left hand, cover it with your right. Now the fist has got a hole in the top. Cover it with your right. And bring it to your heart. And then down to your physical center, which is your lower dantian, which is underneath your navel. Yep. Halfway between the front and the back. Very good. So we're talking about the rotation. So when we change weight if we move from side to side. We do this when we're walking because you have to actually unload one leg, otherwise you can't get it off the ground. You've got 100% weight change as you step forward. And as you step into that foot, you have to 100% weight that one to get the other one off the ground. If there's any weight in the other foot, you can't actually get the foot off the ground. You have to unload it completely. So we do this all the time. So in Qigong, we talk about the concept of this weight changing from side to side or the rotation. The pendulum idea of the pendulum clocks that goes from one side to the other, weight changes. We also talk about the rotation, and we've talked a lot about this, but putting them both together, there's an integral part of this that's a bit more technical. And that's we talked before about in the advanced class I just did. We started it with the rotation and the figure eight. We're going to go back there for this one as well. So you do the rotation. The idea of the rotation is to have this idea of this figure eight. You hear quite often talk about in Qigong and Taiji this side of figure eight movement, which looks like this. Yeah, but there's a lot of common things that can happen in that, which defeat the purpose of it. One of them, is, of course, is sticking your hip out like that. It feels bad even if I do it. It's like dancing. Yep, there's nothing wrong with dancing, but for Qigong and Tai Chi, the movement of the energy in the meridians is very, very precise. So as we turn, the whole body turns, goes across, the whole body turns, goes across, turns. So when we're doing the rotation, the whole body's rotating. So if I do a big figure eight like this, and I'm turning like that, is what most people do, and you see people doing with their arms loose like this, and you see them doing this. Yeah, and you can do it two ways. You can go forward and turn, or you can go back and turn, back and turn. They both have relevance. They both have a different piece in Tai Chi. Once they're different martial applications when you're stepping back or you're going forward. But what we want to do is we're going to talk about we're going to put it into an exercise as well, where you go across and you rotate. This is going to go all the way across this time before you start moving. So instead of having the figure eight like that, and you're rotating on the way there, and we're rotating on the way, rotate on the way there, and rotate on the way back. So we're constantly moving rotation. We're going to go across with no rotation, and then turn. And you're turning on the top of your femur joint. You're rotating on top of your hip joint. Go across the other side. Rotate. Yep. Go across. Rotate. You've just done the advanced class. You get to do this one again. That's okay. Good practice. Rotate. Go across. Rotate. So the hard part with doing this is when you rotate is not to start coming back. As you rotate, you start turning and coming into it, and then you go across. It's to rotate fully around without moving on one leg. Stop. Then go all the way across. Stop. Rotate all the way around. Stop. Then come back. And for some reason or other, this is tricky for people to do. Rotate, stop, then go all the way across. Stop. Rotate first. You're rotating on top of your hip. You're just turning on one hip. One hip's turning because the other foot's got no weight in it. Right around first. Stop. Go across. Stop. Rotate first. Stop. Then rotate across. Stop. Then come back the other way. Stop. Rotate first. Stop. Rotate first. So you're rotating and then stopping. And I'm exaggerating so you can see it. Stop, rotate, stop, go across, rotate first, stop. Good. That's that one. But this particular exercise we're going to do for wave hands is the other way. So we're going to, now that you understand that, so we're going to go backwards across, and then we're going to rotate all the way around, stop, back across, then rotate to the front, right around, back across. As we rotate, we're rotating from the quarter. If we think of north in the front of us and we've got west and east, we're going to the northwest and we're going to the northeast. So we're going to the quarter, into the 45. So we go across, we start with, we back across, I'm facing towards the northwest. Then I'm going to turn around towards the northeast. Yep. Then I'm going to back across, and I'm going to move from the northeast all the way around to the northwest again. I'm going to back across, northwest, right into the northeast, whichever way you're facing at the time, it doesn't matter, but if we're turning 90 degrees, we go across and turn. Okay, across, turn. Now, say if you were facing north this way, you turn and you're going to face the west. Makes it easy to understand. And from the west, you're going to rotate, you're going to pendulum across, and then you're going to twirl back to the north again. Go back from the north to the west. So that's the 45, but we're talking about seeing that north's in the front, so we're going to the northwest, northeast. Yep. So that's rotation. So we're coming back across, rotate, and then rotate first, back across, then rotate, back across first, then rotate, back across first, then rotate, back across first, then rotate, back across, rotate. Perfect, just like that. There you go. But that's the movement of the body's going to make. The movement of the hands is a little bit different. We'll just do that. We'll do one hand at a time. Put your hand on your hip, and you can do, I'll mirror you, so we'll do right hand first. So bring your hand, so you turn your hips, just turn your hips. The hand comes up, comes across the front, goes out to the side, palms down. Then the hand goes across the front, comes up, turns over, comes back round. Palm down, comes up. It's like scooping the water. Comes up, look at your face looking at your hand. It comes around, palm goes out, palm goes down, goes across. Hand comes up to your face. So your palm and your face are moving together. Goes out to the side, palm down, and goes across the front. Wave hands in cloud, or cloud hands. There's lots of different Chinese characters, means the same. It actually has quite a different spiritual meaning to it as well. Palm out, palm down, comes up, turns, palm goes out. Good. Swap hands. The other hand comes up, palms facing your face, you're facing your palm. Turn ring from the hips. Hand goes out, palm down. As you turn your hips, the palm goes across the front and comes up. Then we turn. Palm goes out. Turn your hips, goes around, the hand comes up to your face. Turn the hip around and goes out to the side. Palm down. You know we're going to put these together, don't you? So this is a great exercise for right and left hemisphere harmonization between different parts of your brain, either side of your brain, different aspects of your brain. Start talking to each other when you're moving one body, part one way, and the other one the other way. Now we put it together, goes across, palm goes down, the other one comes up. Watch the palm as it goes across, palm down, the other one comes up. Watch the face with the palm goes out, palm goes down, palm comes up. Palm goes down, palm comes up. This is not an easy exercise, but I want to teach you at the beginner's level, but this is what we're going to do to start off with. At this stage, all we're doing is just rotating our hips from side to side. We're staying double weighted, so we've got weight in both feet. We're just turning from side to side. We have that idea of the double weightedness, yeah? That idea is we're rocking from side to side. That feeling, yep, yeah. So it comes up, comes one way, turns the other side, and the other one comes back. All that's coming is from your hips. Yep. Hips turn, brings the arm across. Hip turns, bring the arms back. Hip turns, brings it across. Hip turn, brings it back. And so the double weighted, so your kidney points, you're seeing on your kidney points, you feel the thing as we're turning, we're just turning on the kidney points and rocking from side to side of the kidney points. So there's no weight change at all. All that's happening is we rotate the hip. Now, we'll add another piece to the rotation of the hips. You pull the hip back that turns, then you pull the hip back. So we're not pulling the hip forward to turn, we're pulling the opposite one back. Pull it back, pull it back. So as we're doing this exercise, pull the hip back, pull the other hip back, pull the hip back. That's it, perfect. Pull the hip back, pull the hip back. There you go, perfect. That's the one. Now, be okay that you might have to go back to the start of this video and watch this again. If you get stuck, go back to just doing one hand. Palm goes across, comes up, head and hand move, palm goes out and does this one. So you just do one at a time if you get a bit lost. Because their body can get a bit confused. Well, actually, the body doesn't get confused, your mind gets confused. And then when you're happy with that, you can do the other hand by itself. Remember, the palm goes out at the side, comes across the bottom and comes up to your head. Your head moves the hand down. And then when you're happy with that, then you can do both of them, yeah? And go back and try it again. Just, the easiest way is to think of the hand comes up to your head, and your head and your hand move, and the bottom one goes across the bottom. And it goes palm down, one comes up. Palm goes down, the other one comes up. Palm goes down, the other one comes up. There you go. Very cool. So this is the basis of cloud hands with a single stance where we're doing double weighted. We're going to take you into the advanced beginners class. I want to add the other piece to this. And that is what we did to start off, remember? We went across, we rotated, we changed weight, we go across, rotation. We back across, rotation. We back across, rotation. So now we're going to do the same thing with the hands. Start like this with the palms that way. Back across, and then rotation. Palm down, back across, then rotation. Very good. Back across, then rotation. Back across, then rotate. Back across, remember we're rotating on one hip. Pendulum across, then rotate. Pendulum across, then rotate. It's a beautiful exercise. As I say, it's really good for balancing your brain functioning. It's like rebooting your computer. It's like shutting your computer down and restarting it again. Well, in this case, it's more like turning it off. The re-turn off happens when you go to sleep. And it defrags itself as well. Your computer's clever. So it defrags itself while you're asleep. And then turns back on in the morning with nothing on, just a blank desktop. And you turn on whatever you want to turn on in the morning, but it's your choice. But when you wake up, it's all turned off. You turn it off to go to sleep. It's interesting how our brain turns off the same way as our computer turns off. Then when you turn off your computer, there are different parts in the computer turn off in an order. The different parts turn off in sequence, and when it starts up, they start up in an order as well to activate it, which is logical. Well, our brain does the same thing. It shuts off in a different same way. In a broader sense, our mind shuts off to go to sleep, and it goes from our emotional brain or our creative brain and goes to the facts and figures side, which is the left side, and the brain turns off from the left side of your brain. So it shuts down your emotions and all the creativity and all those wonderful thoughts and goes into the facts and figures and then shuts off from the facts and figures side of the brain. That's why you count sheep. That's when you've got insomnia, you count sheep, because it puts you in the analytical, not the analytical, puts you in the facts and figures side of your brain. And your mind shuts off from that side. And people work that out thousands of years ago. In Qigong, they have Qigong, insomnia Qigong, they count as well. Counting Chinese, of course, but nowadays we count in English if you're English. And they count to 100 4 times. And what it does is just puts your mind and all the energy into part of your brain where it shuts down from you. So this exercise helps that, because it's recalibrating your mind to connect with both sides of the mind. And then when you sleep, you'll go from the emotion. That's why when you're really emotional, it's hard to go to sleep. Or if you're thinking about a creative project you're doing, it's really hard to turn it off because you're in the side of your brain it doesn't turn off from. That's why you've got to start thinking about numbers. And then it'll turn off. There you go. That doesn't work for everybody, but it does work. Very good. And come across, last one. And stop. Very good. Yeah, so what we can do is we build up to this one, because there's lots of pieces to this. Don't expect to just stand there and all of a sudden go backwards and forwards and have this correct. There's a lot of things going on at once. Arms are going the opposite direction to each other. Hips are going one way and they're rotating the opposite way, which you normally don't do. So just build it up. Do the arm first. Have the idea of the arm coming across the bottom, turns up, turns your head, then the palm goes down. Have that idea. Comes up, across, palm down. So you think of your hand and your head looking at each other, and the palm down. That's one. And then do the other one. Hand comes up, palm and head, palm down. Comes up, palm and head, palm down. Then you can put them both together. This way you're just standing and all you're doing is moving from your hips from side to side. Good. And then you practice the rotation backwards. You go back across, rotate, back across, rotate, back across, rotate. And then when you get really started, you can do both at the same time. Back across, rotate. Back across, rotate. Back across, rotate. Back across, rotate. Good. So when you're doing this, try not to lean over. Don't do this. I'll show you what not to do. Don't lean over like that. It even looks funny me doing that. Hopefully it comes on, thinks that it's the way it's done. No, this is me showing you how it's not done. So you don't do that. So you keep your back straight. Goes across. The back straight. The whole body's turning. It goes across, the whole body turns at one thing, yeah? The arms are moving, coming from the hips, turning the rotation. Put the back straight, yeah? So don't lean over. There you go. And that's how you build up to that. And as I say, you might need to go back and watch that again if you like. Such a beautiful exercise. It's interesting that cloud hands comes out of Tai Chi. It comes out of forms of Tai Chi, I think. Just about every form. The major form, I shouldn't say every form because that's not, I don't know every form. But it's used in Chen style, used in Yang style, used in Wu style, where they have cloud hands. And they do them slightly different. Yang, and it's moving too, so they do it and they move. They step and they move, yeah. The same principle though, back across, rotate. And the Yang style does it with the hands out, the palms go out. So in the Yang style, the Chen style, it does it that way, the palms out instead of the other way. But the Wu style does it palms in, palms this way, but with your palms facing you. So they all have it slightly different. And there's lots of different versions of it. You have your feet behind and the feet in front and the feet behind. But the motion of the exercise, the wave hand part of it's pretty much the same. It's just what you're doing with your feet and what you're doing with your hands. So, as I say, it's not just about every Tai Chi form. Because of the power, what's happening inside the body, and how it's affecting the body, and how it's affecting all the energy and all the meridians in the body, it's such a powerful thing. So they've taken it out of the Tai Chi and put it into a Qigong exercise because of the nature of what's actually happening in the body at the time. Right, there you go, a bit of history as well. Have a beautiful day anyway. I'll see you all next week. It's good to be back. Back at home actually. Been away for about 6 weeks now, so it's nice to be home. If you have any questions, please ask and send me a message if you're not too sure. And when you come online too, I ask you, because I can't see who's on, because we're on YouTube or Instagram, whichever one, or Facebook, whichever one you're watching this on. I can't see you, so message me so I can see you if you have any questions, but message me online so I can say hello as well. Have a beautiful day, everybody, eh? Bye-bye. Just roll back and we'll bow. And just turn it off. Gong. And I think I'm bowing.